Daniel Radcliffe, yes, our Daniel, the one who grew up in those glasses before most of us knew how to do our own laundry, has written a letter, a real letter, paper, ink, feelings, everything. And he sent it to Dominic, the brand new Harry Potter, stepping into the role for the HBO remake. And darling, it's beautiful. Before I read you the cleaned up version of what Daniel actually said, I want your full attention. Chin up, shoulders soft. Ready? Good. He said, I wouldn't say that anyone who's going to play Harry has to do that, but I know a few people working on the production, so I wrote to Dominic. I sent him a letter, and he sent me a very sweet note back. I just wanted to say that I don't want to be like a specter in the lives of these children at all. I just wanted to write to him and say, I hope you have the best time, and an even better time than I did. I had a great time, but I hope he has an even better one. And when I see pictures of him and the other kids, I just want to hug them. They all seem so young. It's crazy that I was doing that at that age, but it's incredibly sweet, and I hope they're having a great time. Oh, Daniel, you sweet man, you generous wizard. I swear this man grows more endearing every decade. And listen, darling, the way he talks about not wanting to be a specter hovering over the children, that's pure class. Some actors cling to old roles like Gollum clinging to the ring. Here is what the letter would say. It's a strange feeling, writing to someone who is both myself and not myself. For many years, I carried your wand, wore your glasses, and tried my best to live up to the weight of your story. It was an honor I never fully felt prepared for, but one I will always be grateful to have experienced. Now it's your turn. You're about to step into a world that has meant so much to millions of people. It will be thrilling, overwhelming, comforting, daunting, sometimes all at once. But I hope you find joy in it, real joy, the kind that comes from discovering that your work, your effort, your heart can bring magic to others' lives. I hope your time as Harry is better than mine, not because I didn't treasure it, but because every new storyteller deserves their own adventure, their own triumphs, their own memories to carry forward. You'll bring pieces of yourself that no one else ever could, and that's exactly how it should be. Be brave, be curious, be kind to yourself, to your cast, to the story, and to the millions of people who will come to know you as their Harry. And remember, even though the world you're entering is filled with spells, creatures, and castles, the real magic has always been about love, friendship, and choosing what's right. I'll be cheering you on, wand down, glasses off, but heart full. Welcome to the adventure. With admiration and excitement, Daniel. He wants these kids to breathe their own magic into the story. It's such a grown-up, grounded bit of wisdom from someone who was thrown into the cauldron at a very young age. And this letter, this little moment, it reminds me of something very specific about the Harry Potter fandom. We aren't just watching a story, we're watching an inheritance, a passing down. Different cast, same wand, same castle, same lightning scar. That's why I wanted to walk you through what this letter means, my dear, not just for Dominic, but for the entire new series. You see, and forgive me while I get a tiny bit sentimental, the HBO remake is in a strange place. It's a reboot of something many people consider untouchable, sacred, practically a horcrux at this point, but in a nice way. So when Daniel steps forward with this much grace, it gives everyone permission to breathe, to relax, to realize this isn't erasing the old story, it's letting it grow again. And I imagine Dominic opening that letter, probably sitting cross-legged somewhere on set, robes still itchy because they haven't softened with sweat and mischief yet, and seeing Daniel's handwriting. That must have been surreal. The old Harry telling the new Harry, go live your adventure, kid. Make it yours. If someone older and wiser had written me a letter on my first day at anything, I would have cried, tripped, apologized to the furniture, and then framed the thing. And look, the tenderness in Daniel's voice when he talks about seeing pictures of the new cast. Darling, he said he wants to hug them. Hug them. That's the vibe of someone who remembers the pressure and doesn't want these kids crushed by it. Someone who knows the weight of a global franchise on tiny shoulders. You know what it reminds me of? A Percy Jackson prophecy, truly. And lo, the child of prophecy shall receive a letter from the one who walked the path before him, and both shall smile awkwardly across the boundaries of time. Something like that. And guess, I'm teasing, but only because I love you and I know you get it. Now, there's more to this moment than just a letter. The entire production of the HBO series is slowly tightening its laces. Dominic has the glasses, the early cast photos have trickled out, the trio, the classmates, that wide-eyed awkwardness that comes before the world discovers you. Daniel saying, "I had a great time, but I hope he has a better one," is such a gift. It's permission, a blessing, the kind of thing an older actor doesn't have to say, but says anyway because he knows what's coming. And darling, trust me, Dominic is about to experience the wildest mixture of love, scrutiny, adoration, critique, memes, chaos, and pure magic. People will compare him to Daniel even when they shouldn't. People will argue. People will praise. People will nitpick. It's the internet. That's how it works. But Daniel, he's telling him, ignore all that. Have fun. Really fun. And oh, what a difference that makes. Now then, before I tell you the next little secret, and yes, it involves early whispers about how the series plans to handle the house elves, make sure you've subscribed, love. You'll want to be here when I dive into the brewing tension between Booklore Dumbledore and what HBO is quietly planning for Season 2. Trust me, it's juicy. Right, now that you're still with me, let's wander back to this whole letter situation. The older cast, the original stars, they've been so gracious about this reboot. It could have been awkward, uncomfortable, but no, they're cheering these kids on, watching from a distance like proud alumni returning for one weekend to see the new first years dragging their trunks across the platform. And Daniel in particular, he's handling it with a kind of wisdom that almost feels like the real ending of the epilogue, not the written one, but the emotional one. The passing of the wand, the new era. But of course, knowing Daniel's self-deprecating charm, he probably wrote something like, "Dear Dominic, I promise not to haunt you. Good luck. Wear sunscreen. Love, Dan." Still, the kindness is unmistakable. And the fact that Dominic wrote back and wrote something sweet tells you that this new generation understands the gravity of what they're stepping into. And while we're talking about gravity, can we talk about how Daniel said it's crazy he was doing this at that age? My love, I have watched the behind-the-scenes footage. I've seen these children wandering around massive sets in oversized robes, holding wands like confused chopsticks. They're tiny, and he was that tiny once. That's a wild thing to process, even for him. Honestly, if there's one thing that ties all this together, it's the kindness of someone who remembers being overwhelmed and wants to spare someone else the worst of that storm. It's like watching an older prefect slip a chocolate frog to a trembling first year before their first Quidditch match. And because you're here with me, and because I know you love this world as much as I do, I want you to picture something. Dominic stepping onto the set for the first time after reading the letter. He walks through the Great Hall. The candles aren't floating yet, they're just little tracking dots for VFX. The long tables smell like fresh varnish. Everything is new, strange, slightly too quiet. And in his pocket, folded up in a little square, is a note from the boy who became a wizard before him. Tell me that's not adorable. Tell me your heart didn't wiggle just a tiny bit. And let's not forget the best part. Daniel said he hopes the kids are having a great time. That's the thing people forget. The fun, the laughter between takes, the mischief, the games with props, the way sets become playgrounds, the way castmates become family. Darling, I swear the children on major fantasy sets have two personalities. In character, absolute gremlins the moment the camera cuts. So yes, Daniel, they're almost certainly having the time of their lives. Now, the HBO series itself. I know you're waiting for bigger leaks, and trust me, I have my ears perked like Crookshanks in a room full of suspicious knitting. But today isn't about the big twists. Today is about the tenderness in the quiet moments. A letter from one Harry to another. And oh, when we're being honest, love, these are the things that tell you whether a production is healthy, grounded, and respectful of the legacy it's carrying. This moment, it's a good sign. And yes, I absolutely want Daniel to cameo, maybe as a random ministry worker who walks by in the background holding too many parchment scrolls. Let me have my silly fantasies. Funnily enough, it's the humility in Daniel's words that tells me he'll probably stay far away. When he says he doesn't want to be a specter, he means it. He wants Dominic to breathe without comparisons echoing down the hallways. And yet, we all feel the connection, the torch being passed across generations. It's one of those rare fandom moments where everyone, for once, seems to be soft at the same time. Now, darling, let me straighten these tea-stained papers. Hold on. Oops, I'm dropping everything. There we are. That's your little update. A letter, a blessing, a moment of kindness in a franchise that thrives on emotion and nostalgia. And now, my dear, that's all for now. But don't wander too far. On your screen now is our vision from my co-host for the entire first season of the HBO series, episode by episode, the way we think the magic should unfold. Go on, click it, and make sure you subscribe, love. You'll want to be here when I finally reveal more news and HBO Harry Potter TV series leaks.